Hi guys, so this video is going to be a little different than when you're seeing my face. I'm going to kind of guide you through this reading, and there is a table at the bottom. It's different than the questions that have been embedded in readings before, so I think it's really important that you stick with me today. As always, if you could please, it's extremely helpful for me if you open this activity on Google Classroom on one half of your screen, on the other half have this video going so you can follow along, and then we'll be in a really good spot to get through this activity together. It's a little different than what we've been doing. I hope you enjoy it, and I'm going to kind of guide us through. As always, please answer the questions after the question mark, or at the bottom you'll see the table. Fill it out in a color other than black. So I'm going to start us with the reading. Pause if I go too fast or anything that you kind of want to address on the side, or if you need to Google something or shoot me a quick email, please just pause the video. So, Ofra's Deli has the reputation of making the best sandwiches in the world. The photo shows Ofra's masterpiece, called the Imperial. It is made of 6 layers: freshly baked sourdough country bread, honey smoked turkey breast, ruby ripe vine tomatoes, Gouda cheese, romaine lettuce, and another slice of bread. Ofra says the secret to her masterpiece is knowing exactly how much force each layer should apply to the others. So if we look at the sandwich, you've got the sandwich right here. You can see all the different layers of the sandwich, and there's certain layers that are touching one another. So it says, construct a model describing the Imperial as a system, its components, and the contact force pairs acting between the components. Essentially, you are breaking down the components of the sandwich as if they are touching each other. So to kind of help you with this constructing a model process, I want you to look back at the sandwich. Yes, you've got bread, you've got cucumbers, you've got lettuce, but if you look, you see you've got lettuce twice. You've got lettuce here at the top, you've got lettuce here at the bottom. So things are touching each other, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the 6 things are in a particular order where you only see that item once. So what I did is I ordered the layers for you. Layer 1 is the top slice of bread. Layer 2 is lettuce. Layer 3 is cucumber. Layer 4 is tomato. Layer 5 is turkey. Layer 6, we have lettuce again. Layer 7, we have cheese. And layer 8 is we have the bottom slice of bread. So at the beginning of the reading, it says there are only 6 layers. But really, it's 6 things spread across 8 layers. So that was one thing I wanted to really point out to you, which is why I typed that out. Then it's asking us to create this model, and this model is going to be this table that we're about to get to. So this is the table that lists the contact forces between the components. In the directions, it says use a plus sign if the 2 items are making contact with one another. Use a minus sign or negative sign if the 2 items are not making contact with one another. I already put an X in the boxes of the same item. So this table, it's a little big and it's a little bit intimidating. What I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out on my screen just slightly so that we can see the whole table at once. So on this table, we have our X and we have our Y axis. We have different descriptions going down each side. So you'll see coming from the top and going down, we have the layers of the bread. We have the bottom bread, then the cheese, then the lettuce, the turkey, the tomatoes, the cucumber, the lettuce again, and then the top slice of bread. Going across this top row from left to right, we have the exact same layers in the same order. We have the bread on the bottom, we have the cheese, we have the lettuce, we have the turkey, we have the tomatoes, we have the cucumber, we have the lettuce again, and we have the top slice of bread. So when we make a table of contact forces, it sounds much more complicated than it actually is. We're determining which layers are actually making contact or touching, essentially, one another. Can the bottom bread touch itself on the bottom bread? No. So I put an X in that box. Can the cheese touch itself on the cheese? No. So I put an X in the box that would be for cheese with cheese. And so on and so forth. The lettuce can't be making force on itself. So there's an X in that box. Turkey can't be making force with itself. So there's an X in that box. And what you're going to do is you're going to go item by item by item by item to determine if those items are making contact. So we're going to start here with cheese. So we look here and we say cheese with bread on bottom. Is the cheese touching the bread on the bottom? If you say yes, you put a plus sign in this box. If the cheese and the bread on bottom are contact forces, you put a plus sign there. If the cheese with the bread on the bottom are not making contact, you put a negative or a minus sign there. And then you're going to keep going across the row. Cheese with itself, cheese, there's an X here because they can't touch. So now we try cheese with lettuce. Is the cheese making contact with the lettuce? You'll put a plus sign if you think they are, and a minus sign or a negative sign if you do not think they are. Then you'll try cheese with tomatoes. Is the cheese touching? Oh my goodness, that's my dog barking. I apologize, you guys. Is the cheese touching the tomatoes? If they are touching, you put a plus. If they're not touching, you put a minus. And you repeat this through all of the items on the sandwich. Once you finish the cheese, you can go to the next row, the lettuce. And I skipped the bread on bottom just because the bread on bottom had this first X here. So I started at the cheese, but you're going to do the bread on bottom as well. So bread on bottom. Is bread on bottom touching the cheese? If it is, you put a plus sign. Is the bread on bottom touching the lettuce? If it is, you put a plus sign. If it's not, you put a minus sign or a negative sign. Is the bread on bottom touching the turkey, the tomatoes, the cucumber, the lettuce, and the top slice of bread? Contact forces are if they are actually making contact with one another, if they are putting force on one another. You're going to fill out this whole table, but I know this is tricky. So if you scroll to the bottom, there is an answer key. But I would like you to please try to fill out this table on your own first. If there's something that doesn't make sense or you're a little lost or confused, go to that answer key. Check to see if there's something that can help you. And you're always going to refer back to the picture. And if the picture is hard for you to understand, the order of the layers are right here. The top slice of bread is on top of the lettuce, which is on top of the cucumber, which is on top of the tomato, which is on top of the turkey, which is on top of more lettuce, which is on top of cheese, which is on top of the bottom slice of bread. Turn this in on Google Classroom when you're done. As always, good luck. Email me if you have any questions or concerns. I hope everybody is doing well. Have a great day.